What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy, Motor City Don P, back once again. You know, Motor City Cat's back at it. Here to bring you stats, not static, but whatever you do, keep your Lions news pragmatic. We're going to get right into it today because we are talking about none other than Carlton Davis. We've seen the performance that Carlton Davis has put on throughout the year. He is one of 3 Detroit Lions with at least 8 pass breakups and 2 interceptions. And he got those 2 interceptions against C.J. Stroud, a quarterback who is more or less careful with the football, who doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes and things of that nature. But he got him twice. One of them during Dan Campbell's right after halftime, post-halftime sideline interview. And obviously, they record those things a little bit before, and then they play them when we come back from halftime, and we can see everything going on. So obviously, before Dan Campbell hits the sideline to go and join his team and start calling the game, they're not interviewing them while the game is going on, in case you didn't know that. But it was perfect timing. Dan Campbell said, we need to get turnovers. Our defense needs to get turnovers. We got to get a couple. And then right on cue, Carlton Davis stepped in front of a C.J. Stroud late out route. And you know what happens when you're late on an out route? It doesn't wind up too well for you most of the time. But Carlton Davis played a heck of a game, 2 interceptions that game. He's not giving up, passes. He's sticky in coverage. He's great for the locker room. And after the game, he told everybody in that locker room, after he got a game ball, he told everybody, he said, whatever we do, whether we down, whether we up, you're going to get the best from me. I got you. That's what he told his teammates. So now the only question left is, do we extend Carlton Davis? If you remember, Carlton Davis came in during the offseason, a trade via the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brad Holmes sent a 3rd-round pick over there, and they sent back Carlton Davis. Now, everyone talked about how Carlton Davis needed a new contract. He's going to want a new contract, and he was just a 1-year rental. And this is why you went out and you got Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw. And that Ennis Rakestraw was just going to fit in so seamlessly into the conversation, as Carlton Davis was ushered out the door. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure that Carlton Davis does not fit this culture. I said this in my breakdown, my post-game breakdown, my Victory Monday breakdown of the game and what I thought about the game. And I talked about Carlton Davis. And I said that Carlton Davis is one of those guys that you brought in. You didn't draft him, right? You didn't do a whole bunch of pre-draft work on him and bring him in for visits and things of this nature, because obviously he's been in the league, 7 years? Okay. Brad Holmes was still in Los Angeles and so on and so forth. But Brad Holmes said, you got to be careful when you bring in someone, whether it's via trade or free agency, when you bring them in and they aren't from your, from your tree, pretty much. You haven't drafted them. You haven't done this, that, and the third thing, right? You didn't hand pick them. You weren't able to sculpt them, shape them, mold them. But right now, Brad Holmes, being careful, being meticulous about the people that he does bring into this organization, has hit a home run with Carlton Davis, right? Everyone said Carlton Davis. Well, I won't say everyone, but, people in Tampa Bay were saying that Carlton Davis, maybe wasn't that great, and he's never available. Carlton Davis has missed quite a few games. He's missed quite a few snaps, right? He's had concussion issues and, some tweaks here and there. I think he's dealt with some, hamstring issues and all these things, like most athletes do in this day and age. But Carlton Davis is an integral part of this team. He stood on the podium, and when they asked him about the team and how they came back and, didn't get down after 5 interceptions, they were still able to come back and win this game. He said, grit, man. Grit. He said, when you look at the definition of that word, that is what we are. And when a man stands on a podium and he says, look at the definition of grit, and that is what we are. When a man stands there on a podium and says that to you, he says that to the media, you know that this man is part of the grit culture. Now, do I think you open up the purse strings and you open up the pocketbook and you drop the bag on him and you give him whatever he wants? I don't know. I'm not a capologist. I've said this before. I really don't think that the cap exists unless you mess up and you do it wrong, right? But the capologists are there for a reason. They know what they're doing. We're talking about a team that extended a bunch of people and then still had more money than they started off the offseason with. Seriously. You gave Amon-Ra St. Brown the bag. You gave Jared Goff the bag. You gave Penei Sewell the bag. You gave Taylor Decker the bag. You gave Alim McNeil the bag. You're just giving everybody the bag, right? Brad Holmes is like Oprah out here. You get a bag. You get a bag. You get a bag. Everybody gets a bag. Why can't Carlton Davis get one? I believe that it is time to go ahead and start these talks with Carlton Davis and his agent. I want Carlton Davis in Detroit for as long as he is productive, for as long as he is having the type of impact on this team that he is having right now. And I'm pretty sure that Carlton Davis would tell you the exact same thing. He is a part of this culture. He's a part of the city. He's a part of the team. He is a part of the fabric, and he wants to be here. I'm sure he wants to stay. I'm sure, especially the result that we all expect, a Super Bowl, because he's already a Super Bowl champion. And if he sees that he's on a team that can win another Super Bowl and possibly multiple Super Bowls after the first one, I'm sure he'll want to stay. But let me know, you guys, in the comments below, what do you think? Should we keep him? Should we not keep him? Is he your favorite player? Do you think that he's hindering the development of an Ennis Rakestraw? Do you want to move on? You want to get younger? What is it that you want to do? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you share and let everybody know that the Motor City Cats are back at it. Peace. If you came for all the stats and none of the static, if you're trying to keep your Lions news pragmatic, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you can get notified when the Motor City Cats are back at it. And plus, you can't get enough of the victory buffs.